Make them understand, make them understand. Every time we meet, baby, as we walk down the street, baby, the people stand.
In the British pop music boom of the 1960s, the city of Birmingham always played second fiddle to Liverpool and London. Yet it was to produce some of the most successful British pop groups of the last 3 decades. This is the story of just some of those groups and the musicians in them. Back in the early 60s, Birmingham could boast hundreds of bands playing in pubs, clubs and dance halls throughout the city and its suburbs. There was plenty of work to go around, and if one band fell apart for whatever reason, a good musician could usually find somewhere else to play.
An advert came in the Birmingham Mail for guitarist wanted with a Fender Strat, Vox amp and Binson Echo, and I had the lot.
I remember we got 10 bob each for it. I couldn't believe it. We'd been playing, which was just all I ever wanted to do was just play drums. And at the end of the night, someone actually gave me a 10-shilling note.
Not only did I not have to go to work, it meant I didn't have to get up or anything, and we had practice all afternoon. My mum couldn't believe it. It's like she'd come up and try and get me up and say, "Come on, get out of bed." I said, "Listen, Mum, I don't have to get up ever again. I'm going to be a musician."
The story of this family tree begins in 1964, when 2 local musicians with more ambition than most had the idea of assembling the best of local talent in one band.
Mike Pinder and Ray Thomas had just come back from Germany and came and saw me in a club one night and said, "Do you want to join a band?" I said, "I've already got a band, thank you." I said, "Well, we want to get going and get a band." And these are the first people I'd met who were older than me, who wanted to do what I wanted to do. Go to London, do it, So I said, yeah, for sure.
The band needed some money if they were going to make it. Someone suggested approaching Mitchell and Butlers, the local brewery which owned the pubs the band gigged in.
We were introduced to someone from the brewery, and they said, "Well, you can call yourself, if you want our money, you can call yourselves the M&B 5. That was the original thing, which we thought, get out of here, So, but we thought about it, and then we thought, well, if we're going to call ourselves the M&B, let's call it the Moody Blues. That sounds better, which is what we did. But we never did end up going with the brewery.
Instead, they teamed up with an energetic young manager by the name of Tony Secunda, who persuaded them he could deliver the success they so much wanted.
Looking back, he comes under the category of what you'd call a lovable rogue. But then he just appeared and said he was going to buy us all this equipment, and we said, yeah. And turned up a week later with a new van with all the equipment in the back. So back then, I suppose he was a bit like Moses to me.
With Secunda looking after business, the Moody's felt ready to have a crack at the big time and made the move down to London.
We recorded our first song, which was called Lose Your Money, which everybody did. And then the second song we recorded was Go Now, and by January the 15th, it was #1 in Britain. From May. So, I mean, the whole thing was like I imagine skiing down a mountain. I've never skied, but I imagine something like that, it starts off real nice and it gets faster and faster and faster.
We've already said you